Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. This is the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube, and we start here with chapstick. If you've been here before, you know this, man. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time, please consider subscribing if you like my content. And I will just say now, as you see from the title of the video, this is another Natasha Denona palette video. If you are a Natasha Denona palette lover, especially her $129 palettes, which I do always get on sale, then go ahead and subscribe, because I do a lot of looks with her palettes because it's one of my favorite brands, because I love her creamy matte and her cream to powder formula. So having said that, we're going to jump into this video. I have my base face on, have tails on my brows. I already started my under eye by putting a brown Fenty fly pencil under there, and the shade is actually called In Big Truffle. And on my waterline, my upper and bottom, I have on the Hourglass Obsidian, which is black, and it is the mechanical gel eyeliner. And so I just wanted to get as much done as possible before the video so that it's not too long. I'm going to redo a look that I did a while ago, like over a year ago, and it was just a video of this color's here, this one's here, this one's there, that one's there. And I realized I didn't do a tutorial, and so I said, I'm going to do a tutorial today. And so the colors I'm going to be using are mostly in this middle row, and I will probably just say the color and put it on. So I'm going to show you now what the shades look like and where they are, because I just want to see if this will make it quicker for me to do the tutorials. So we're going to take Tone, this shade here, and this is going to go on the lid. And then we're going to take Buff and put this in the crease and above the crease, like in the transition area. Rayon is going to go directly into the crease. Pasha is going to go on the lower lash line. Monroe is going to go on the inner tear duct area. And Tusk, this shade down here, we're going to use for our brow bone highlight. So we're going to start by priming the eyes with the Fenty eyeshadow primer. I'm going to cut this part out, and then we'll come back and just jump into the look. I do have a playlist. If you visit my channel, most of my videos are Natasha Denona stuff, and I do have a playlist, all of them together and also by palette. And so if you're considering getting one of her palettes, especially if you see them on sale or on her website, if they go on sale for like half off, you can have some inspiration for looks that you might possibly want to recreate. Okay, so we're going to blend that out. I'm going to shut up now so I can cut this part out. We're going to get started with Tone on the lid. I will list below the shades and their finishes in the description box. This one is cream to powder. Tone is a cream to powder. Then we're going to take Buff, which is a creamy matte shade, and that's going to go in our transition area. Very neutral, everyday eye. Well, this is neutral palette. I think with this new phone, it shows the video in reverse, whereas my other one, it showed it like if this was my right eye, it would be on the right side. But in the video, when it records, it does the opposite, like it flips it. And I need to figure out how for it to not do that. And I just thought about that again because I showed something, I think it was the Scott Barnes Natural palette. When I held it up for you guys to read it, when I look back at it, it was backwards. I'm like, ugh. And so I need to figure out how to change that, because I like being able to show you something and it shows up the way it is. Like if it's left to right, like this one, like for me this says neutral, but for you it's probably backwards. This whole thing is probably backwards. And so I don't like that. So I need to figure that out, and I know it's something in the settings. So what was I going to say? I was showing you that to say it was going to be a neutral look, but then it is a neutral palette, and it says it on the front of the palette. We're going to switch brushes, and we're going to take Rayon, and we're going to put that more so in the crease. And so we're going to use a less fluffy brush than this one. We're going to use a brush like this, and we're going to put that directly slightly above my crease line, just to kind of have some dimension in this look. Do you see what that did there? This is also a cream to powder. formula. I love her creamy matte formula. I love her cream to powder formula, and that's what sold me on her brand, is those two formulas. And it spoiled me. It has really spoiled me. I'm going to go back with the fluffy brush, no additional shadow, just to blend, which really I don't think I needed to. I'm sure I did not. And then we're going to take Tusk for our brow bone highlight. I'm going to use a fluffier brush than the one that I was going to use. I'm going to take this brush here and we're going to go into Tusk. And Tusk is in creamy matte as well. And we're just going to lightly dust this right here. The brush we use for our transition shade, we're just going to take that, no additional shadow on the brush, and just lightly sweep that to blend. And actually we're going to go back into that shade, which was Buff, just a little bit. And we're going to just lightly sweep that where where Tusk is. Then we're going to take Pasha on our lower lash line on top of the brown liner. So as of right now, this makes every shade in this row that we used, and one from the bottom row, which would be Tusk, the one in the bottom corner. So if you're stuck for looks to do with this palette, we just did a row. I'm going to use Pasha, that shade we just put on our lower lash line, and we're going to put that on our upper lash line. And we're using a pencil brush because I like that shade. I like how that looks under there. So we're just going to sweep that on our upper lash line. And Pasha is also a creamy matte formula. Some people hate this formula. They say it's difficult to work with. I really like this formula. I think what the problem is that if you're using it like for your outer corner, if you put it on and blend it, it'll blend away. And so the key is to put it on, blend it, and then just pack it where you want it. And I find it really easy to do. I find it simple to do. I don't find it bothersome to do that. But for some people, it is a learning curve. And for some, oh, I got shadow in my eye. For some quote unquote luxury brands, some of their shades, some of their formulas do require a bit of a learning curve. But for me, like, I love it. I love it when the shadow easily blends out, such as the creamy matte formula or the cream to powder formula. And I like being able to go back and pack on more where I want more. And so I actually love it for those two reasons. And so if you overdo it, it's easy just to blend it out. And for somebody like me who's an amateur, being able to blend out is very good. If you put a shade on that's too dark, it's very nice to be able to blend it out and not just be stuck with a harsh line or a color that's darker than you want it to be. We were going to take Monroe, which will be the last shade in this row. So I misspoke a few minutes ago. And we're going to put that right here. I kind of do now just want to put a little bit just right here. Yeah. All right, so that, guys, is the look. Very easy, very neutral. And that was all the shades in this row and Tusk from the bottom row. And so again, I'll list them below. Am I going to do mascara? I want to do mascara. All right. Sills Booster, which is a lash primer. I haven't done mascara in a long time because when I do these videos, I usually end up just washing my face off because I'm doing them at night. And right now it's like 1:30 in the morning. And I was sitting here like, I want to do another look. And I do think to do looks like when I go out and run errands, not a full face because I wear a mask, but just to do like an eye look. But then I feel like half trollish because then I'm like, okay, well, only half of my face is done, which makes sense because they only see half of my face. But because I sweat so much and I just feel so miserable and gross, I'm like, do I really even want to do an eye look when I know I'm going to feel crappy and sweaty and gross? I do not like sweating. I do not like feeling sweat. When I lived in Texas, when I was in the military, sometimes I took 3 or 4 showers a day. Every time I would come home, I would take a shower because I just felt so disgusted at the sweat and it soaking through my clothes. And so I would come home and take a shower and put on something to lounge around in, and then if I needed to go out again later, I would change into something to wear out and then come back home, take another shower. Like, I'm being serious. Like, I just can't stand it. Let me wipe off some of the lip gloss. Chapstick. We could do this Origins Blooming Shine Nourishing Lip Glaze, and the shade is number 12 Midnight Orchid. I purchased it from the CCO. My first time using it. Do not like the applicator because it's stiff. It's like plasticky or something. It smells like peppermint. Is that too bright for this look? When I swatched it, it didn't look, yeah, it did. Now that I'm remembering back. So this is the finished look, guys. Let me know what you think. I kind of want to put something a little deeper in the crease, but this is just an everyday basic, quick, neutral, very neutral, very, very, very neutral look that you can wear anywhere. But I do kind of want to do something else in the crease. I do. I'm going to take a fluffy brush. I know I keep wanting to be done or thinking I'm going to be done, and then I'm not. I'm going to take a Scott Barnes brush number 62. This is what it looks like. And we're going to, do I want to just put Pasha up there and stay in that row? Or do I want to come down here and take Seed? This is Pasha. This is on the lower and upper lash line. This is Seed. So do I want to do that? Yeah, let's do that to keep the look kind of toned down. And this is a creamy matte shadow. I'm starting to really, okay. All right. That's how long it's been since I used this palette. Like, I forgot how, intense some of these shades can be and how quickly they can get there. Whoa. So, yeah, this could be the nighttime version. Daytime, nighttime. Wow, yeah, I didn't expect that. So I'm going to just dip the tip of the brush in just to do like an outer V type thing. And I don't know if you noticed when I first swiped it, it looked like it skipped here because I have all this extra skin, but then when I took the brush and just swept it over, it just blended out. And that's what I mean by her creamy matte formula, is that it just blends so well. And I'm going to feather it in just a little bit. That just changed this entire look. I should have did a picture before I did this, but I'm liking it. We're going to take the brush that had tone on it. We're not going to add any other shadow, but we're just going to sweep this over that way. Wow. I'm going to go back into tone, that first shade, and just put some of that right here so that the inner corner isn't too dark. Well, I should say the inner crease area, which is what it actually is. Now let's do the same on the other side. I had really forgotten. See, this is kind of what I meant to do, but I forgot. This is what I meant to do, but because I went heavy-handed on this side, now I need to add more on this side to get it to look the same. Wow. Yeah, so if you want to change up a very neutral look with this palette, take one of the darker colors and yeah, just add it into the crease in your outer V area. That surprised me. And we're going to do the same thing with tone with the brush we used for it in the beginning, and just sweep that up and over. So we saw a daytime look and then we kind of switched it up and made it into a nighttime look. Let me know what you think of the first one and the second one. And if you have Biba palette, feel free to list your video links below and I will watch them and check them out. And you will see me in the next video. Thanks.